Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lenny Friend. This is HTE 3570 with Dr. Benucci. Today I'm going to be going over Chapter 17, Personal Selling and Sales Management. So a quick overview of the chapter. There's 10 key points that they touch on. The first one's personal selling. Second one is the roles of personal selling. Third one's categories of personal selling. Fourth one's the five major personal selling strategies. From there, you got the sales process, closing strategies, functions of sales management, characteristics of a successful salesperson, the roles of the sales plan, and last but not least, personal selling within the hospitality industry. There's a few of these I'm going to touch on as we go along. The first couple, 1, 2, and 3, personal selling roles and the categories, I'll touch on first. And then the farther we get in, I'll talk about the characteristics of a successful salesperson, because that ties to the question that I'll be reviewing. So, like I mentioned, I'm going to go over personal selling real quick. Basically, it just involves oral conversations, either by telephone, face-to-face, between salespeople and their prospective customers. This could be casual, could be more formal, just kind of depends on the mood or the setting. And this now also includes, the book mentions that it includes online messengers such as Skype, and I added FaceTime in there as well. I've had to be a part of a few business meetings via Skype. It's kind of awkward at first, kind of like this. You're just talking to the audience, kind of judging their response as you go. So it's a little awkward. I prefer face-to-face, but I mean, got to do what you got to do. So the next part I'm going to talk on is the second part of this chapter. It's the roles of personal selling. So the roles are listed as follows. They're there to identify decision makers, decision processes, and qualified buyers, to promote to corporate, travel, trade, and other various groups, to generate increased sales at the point of purchase, to provide detailed and up-to-date info on the travel trade itself. And this one actually might be the most important in my eyes, just because I like good customer service, and that one is the maintaining a personal relationship with key clients. Been involved with a lot of business sales for the company that I currently work for, and a lot of my decision on whether or not we're going to order a specific product or some sort of instrumentation kind of depends on the customer service. If I'm not happy with that, then I don't know, it just puts a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't know, I usually go with my gut on instincts like that. I have to meet various reps, salespeople, and yeah, customer service is huge. Whether it's on the phone, getting back to you quick with email responses, or just how they present themselves, I think that's huge. So yeah, I think that's probably the most important for me, at least. And then finally, gathering information on competitors' promotions, which is obviously a key factor. But yeah, I think that maintaining that personal relationship was probably the one that stuck out in my head the most. So moving forward, I'd mentioned the categories of personal selling. Those are field sales, which are just sales calls and outside sales. Telephone sales, which is known as telemarketing, which most of us hate, let's be honest, but it's part of the business, so just got to roll with it. And then inside calls, which is basically just for upselling. So I'm going to go over this question real quick, then I'm going to show a video, come back, answer a few things. The question for this chapter was, you've been hired as the new sales manager of a hospitality and travel organization. I chose hypothetical. Dr. Benucci just wants us to write our own job descriptions for the position, the responsibilities we have, the procedures we would use for the 1, sales force staffing and operations, 2, sales planning, and 3, the evaluating sales performance part of it. So I'll try to touch on all 3 of those as we move along. So first off, I'll I'll just dive right into the question. The job descriptions that I wrote for myself regarding this, I took, I don't know, probably the most important, or three most important. First one would be the fact that I'm responsible for overseeing the sales department with a company or the organization. And with that, I'll set quotas, manage sales support staff and representatives, and also advise the company about sales performance. Actually, recently I just took a sales or a promotion where I got bumped up to a management position. So kind of diving into this now, meeting with a lot more medical reps, setting the quotas, and I've got support staff that work with me. So I've just been trying to learn how to delegate without, or just properly, or as professional as I can be. Never really been in a management position, at least this high up. So it's definitely been a learning process for me, but I think it's going well. And it's kind of cool that this chapter ties into that too. So moving along with those job descriptions, the next one for me would be to assign the sales territories, to set sales goals, to establish training programs for the organization's sales representatives. Just like I mentioned, I am currently dealing with setting up training programs and whatnot for my support staff. I think the biggest part of that is just to be able to have a standard set that you want matched both now and in the future, and hopefully exceeded. But yeah, the biggest part of that is just to, with the training programs, is just to make sure everyone's on a level playing field, and to have specific competencies set, just to not only evaluate from, but also to build from. And the last job description that I added was to analyze sales statistics gathered by the staff and to determine sales potential and inventory requirements, and to monitor our customers' preferences, because that's huge. There's nothing worse than trying to push something, trying to sell something to someone that they're definitely not interested in. So yeah. So the next part of the question touches on the sales force staffing. I've kind of already touched on the first ones regarding recruitment, selection, and training. Basically, you don't want to bring someone in that you wouldn't want to work with, and that starts with recruitment, selection, and training. Or if you bring someone in who's not completely up to par or whatever, that a lot can be said about your individual training department. Just because someone doesn't know something right off the bat doesn't mean they can't learn that. Obviously, if they've gotten this far into the interview or recruitment or selection process, yeah, a lot can be said about your own personal training program. And moving forward from that, second part was leading, motivating, and compensating. As a leader, I mean, this kind of goes without saying, but you want to be motivating. You don't want your staff to hate you. And you want to be able to compensate them appropriately. There's nothing worse than for lack of a better words, working your tail off and not being noticed or compensated properly. So that's definitely huge. And third and final is supervision and controlling. Kind of goes without saying as well, in regards to being a good supervisor. I try and avoid micromanaging. No one really likes to be micromanaged. I think that's the biggest part for me with the supervision aspect of it. If people want to work, people are going to work. And if they don't, then they can find somewhere else to work. And just in regards to the staffing issue, I found a video off YouTube, quick video. It's like just over 3 minutes, from Professor Jim White. Yeah, I'm just going to play that real quick. It's pretty informative. It's quick, and this will work. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jim White, and this is one of a series of videos designed to introduce you to the basic functions of management. Today we're going to talk about staffing. Staffing is the art and science of getting the right person into the right job. The very first thing that you must do is understand the job you are trying to fill. The best tool for this is called a job analysis. A job analysis, properly done, will give you a list of Job specifications. Job specifications are the things that the candidate absolutely must have in order to do this job well. Job specifications usually have numbers in them. For example, it will say you must have a 4-year college degree in marketing, or you must have 5 years of experience, or even you must be able to lift 50 pounds. If the candidate does not have even one of these specifications, they will not be able to do the job. Now, once you have your list of specifications, you must recruit a pool of candidates. Generally, recruiting is done on the web. Don't forget, you need to look at the social media sites of the candidates. The most complex part of staffing is screening. Almost everyone begins by using an application of some sort. Most often, these are submitted electronically and are screened by a computer program that searches for keywords that are tied back to the job specifications. Once you have this process, you should then conduct a preliminary interview. An interview always gives you more information than the application. If testing is necessary, now's the time to do it. On jobs where specifications require technical skills, testing is a great screening device. Remember though, any test you give must be directly tied again to the job specifications and given to every candidate. Lawyers call this BFOQ, a bona fide occupational qualification. Now it's time for your big interview. This should always be conducted by the hiring manager. Prepare for it. Be ready. Review all of the information that you have on the candidate. Know what questions to ask and know what answers to expect. If after the first interview you're still not certain about a candidate, it might be a good idea to get another manager to interview the candidate. Get a second opinion. Better yet, let the people who the new hire is going to work with talk to him. At any rate, make your choice very carefully. Always remember, part of your next performance appraisal depends on how well this new hire does. Well, that about wraps up the session on staffing. I'm Jim White, and I'll see you later.
All right. So moving forward, the next part of that question would be in regards to sales planning. The book lists 3 steps as well for this. It's preparing the sales forecast, developing sales department budgets, which includes the forecast itself, selling budget, sales administration budget, and advertising and promotion budget. And the third one is assigning the sales territories and quotas. So the third and final part of the question is the evaluation performance aspect of it. So basically, in order to do this, you have to perform a sales management audit, which in other words, the book lists as a periodic analysis of the sales department's policies, objectives, activities, staff, and performance. Like I had mentioned earlier, I just recently moved into a management position with the company that I work for. So it's kind of cool to be going over all of this. Definitely have a lot to learn about managing. It's not easy, but it's definitely something I'm interested in, and I guess we all are being in the hospitality management field. But yeah, like I said, it's cool that this kind of ties into what I'm dealing with right now. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Take care. Thanks again.